Out, he was talking to reporters about the relationship between the United States, the evolving relationship between the United States and North Korea. Watch this.
Well, I think they're okay. I mean, I think they're good. Is it like the relationships we have with a couple of other countries? Probably not, right? But I think the relationship we have right now with North Korea is as good as it's been in a long time. They had no relationship under the previous administration. There was nothing. It was nothing. They were explaining. It was just a nothing. Nothing was done. Hey, folks, this should not be up to me. This should have been handled a long time ago. This got to a very critical point. This should have been handled many years ago. Not only by President Obama, but by other presidents that preceded me. This shouldn't be done now. This should have been done years ago.
And here's the amazing thing about this, Josh, is that everything seems like it's going forward and doing very well right now. But, the funny thing is you talk about, the South Koreans, they believe that Kim Jong-chol, the number 2 man in North Korea, is a very bad guy. They believe he was behind an attack on a naval ship back in 2010 to kill 46 sailors. And we believe that he was behind the attack on Sony Pictures. So this isn't a guy who's very coveted in the United States, and all of a sudden you have this mini summit at the White House today that's leading to this June 12th summit. This is moving at breakneck speed.
It is. And look, supporters of what the president is doing would say, you don't make friends with your friends, you make friends, you don't seek peace with people that you're already close with, you seek them with enemies, with people that you have really difficult issues, such as the ones that you just described, our problems and South Korea's problems with North Korea's behavior over the past many decades. So there is a wide gap that needs to be bridged by these two countries. But look, he's talking about how things are better than they've been in forever. It was just a few months ago that President was threatening fire and fury against the North Koreans. And what has really changed from then until now, other than a change in rhetoric? We haven't seen a change in behavior other than those 3 Americans that were released by North Korea. But on the key issues that the U.S. and its allies are worried about, the nuclear issues, the other troubling behavior, that still has to be worked out by the President and Kim Jong-un when they meet in Singapore.
Yeah, and if people are thinking that this is, all about Lucy and Charlie Brown and moving the football again, this man, this Kim Jong-chol who came here, he has the ear of Kim Jong-un. We know that. He was at both of the meetings with President Xi in China. He was at both of the summits with South Korea. He was right next to Kim Jong-un, and he's the one that delivered this letter to the president today. And Josh, my question to you is, the letter really wasn't read, but it seems like the letter really isn't that important. It's kind of a symbol, if you will, for the fact that, Kim Jong-un is saying, okay, this is my token of respect for the President of the United States. I'm going to write him a letter. Doesn't really matter what's in it. We're going to have this meeting on June 12th. This is just a symbol that they can put in a museum someday.
That's right. It's a show of respect, one leader to another, and it's an effort to try to correct what was a show of disrespect that President Trump was complaining about only a week and a half or 2 weeks ago when he canceled the summit. So North Korea trying to show, we're here, we're ready to actually make this go forward. But the other symbolic part of this that we shouldn't lose track of is how significant this will be back at home in North Korea. This type of Oval Office reception, a senior North Korean in the White House with the president, very significant, and the kind of relationship with a major world power that North Korea has wanted to be able to project to its people for quite some time.
And we were stunned by the president talking about ending the Korean War after so many years. I want to play this soundbite because this is fascinating. Watch.
We talked about it. We talked about ending the war. And, this war has been going on, it's got to be the longest war, almost 70 years, right? And there is a possibility something like that. That's more of a signing of a document that it's very important in one way. Historically, it's very important. But we'll see. We did discuss that, the ending of the Korean War. Can you believe that we're talking about the ending of the Korean War?
And look, nobody's talking about reunifying North and South Korea right now, but still, symbolism goes a long way. And when you're talking about the President of the United States saying on June 12th, we could sign a document that could end the Korean War after decades and decades and decades, that in itself is significant. Josh.
It's hugely significant, Trace, and it's also going to create some anxious allies for the U.S., especially in places like Japan, where they're going to say, now hold on a second, we have a whole lot of work to do before we're talking about ending the war that has been in existence for decades, that armistice agreement in place. You know, there's a whole lot that has not yet been ironed out, and for the president to be already talking about how we're going to end this possibly within a couple weeks seems to suggest a rush to have conciliation with North Korea that might not be backed up by the kinds of facts that our allies, specifically in the region, really want to hear about.
Yeah, and in the first part of this, and I'll let you go, Josh. The first part of this news conference the president held, he made it very clear this is a process, right? It's a process. It might take several meetings. And then he jumped in and said, well, we're going to end the Korean War, and then who knows what's going to go on after that. But it really will be maybe months, maybe years, going to take a long time, but this is certainly a step in the right direction.
It is, but look just back at the Iran nuclear deal and how long that took. These are difficult things, technical things to work out, not the kind of thing that you can easily foresee being worked out over a couple of hours in Singapore, Trace.
Josh Letterman, good to see you. Great insight. Thank you. We will have much more ahead on President Trump's announcement that the meeting with Kim Jong-un is back on. Plus, reaction from the State Department is ahead. Imagine, on June 12th, the president is going to go to Singapore and meet with the North Korean dictator, and we could end the Korean War. More on that coming up.
You might take something for your heart or joints.